Right, it's an LG 49-inch. That much is all I know at the moment. We've guessed on backlights, or edge lights as this is. It's an edge lit set. But we don't know yet. We haven't. This is kind of a diagnosis we've done over the phone. Right. Doesn't want to come into focus at all. What about switching off some lights? That's made it worse. Look at my neck. That took its time, didn't it? Customer complaint is sound, no picture. So let's plug it in and have a look. TV is upside down at the moment. And yeah. No backlights. Let me just rest that up there a minute. I can see an LG logo which is still on. Can you see that? You possibly can. Let me put the other lights off. Now, why would the logo still be on? This is now looking more like a mainboard issue than a backlight issue. I personally think gonna have to open it up and see. Okay. After pre-diagnosing this with a backlight issue and actually buying backlights for it, which just goes to prove you should never pre-diagnose something over the phone. But I've worked with so many LGs in the past, when the customer said, oh yeah, get a faint LG logo, no picture, you just automatically think, oh yeah, it's backlights. So anyway, I ordered some backlights in because it's a specific screen. It's a different screen to the one I'm used to working on. And they've arrived, and then I've suddenly checked the TV. And again, I think that's 2 wake-up calls this week, for heaven's sake. It's okay having a pretend diagnosis over the phone, but don't start buying any parts in until you know for sure. Because I'm pretty darn sure now that this is not a backlight issue, even though the backlights aren't coming on, as we saw earlier. No backlights, LG logo static. You can see it by just shining a torch. And it's a mainboard issue. Now, there are mainboards cheap enough. Well, I say cheap enough. I mean, 60, 70 quid, I think they are. So not the cheapest, but they're on eBay, so I can go and get those. But it looks like a processor issue, or a processor issue if you're watching this in the States. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a reflow and see if that helps. So that's the plan for the next 5 minutes. Bear with. Just to let you know, excuse me, I have taken the heatsink off, which is held on by 2 little splodges of glue on this particular model. Now, the truth is, on this very cheap heat station, and there's no reason for me to have an expensive heat station. I keep thinking about buying one, but if you're working on laptops, then yes, get yourself a heat station, a good one. But I tend to use this tool probably 3 or 4 times a year maximum, so it's not really financially viable for me to get one. I did think about going into repairing MacBooks and stuff, but I'm just far too busy doing this, and so I'll stick to doing this. So a cheap one will be fine. But you may notice the nozzle on the end of this is very, very slim. So why don't you put a fatter one on? Because this nozzle has been on for so long, it's welded itself in. It just will not come off. I've tried as much force as I should be trying. It still does the trick. So I'm going to do this for about another 3 or 4 minutes, just to say that I've really given it a good heat coating, I suppose. I'm guessing that the processor has got some dry solder balls underneath, or solder balls that just aren't making contact. One thing I did notice is the processor does get very warm, and the TV is not coming on. So this could be a fix. My success rate on processors with a heat gun, I don't think it's great. I think I've done about 5 and 1, 2. So this would be 3 out of 6, which would level the game up, so that would be nice. But I can't find anything in schematics or in well, any manuals connected to, any service manuals connected to this machine of why, and I don't know if I've shown you this yet. I'll show you in a second if it doesn't fix. Did I show you the orange light on the power board flashing? There's an orange light after about 2 minutes, starts to flash, an orange LED, on the PSU starts to flash. I don't know what that symbolises. Well, I suppose it symbolises the fact that it's not getting a voltage that it wants. But you'd think there'd be some literature about it somewhere. But no. It's between LG and an LG technician. It's probably and that was probably it. There's probably one LG technician that came up with the idea, but decided not to write about it anywhere or what it's for. Right, how long have I been going on for now? Well, it's been 5 minutes, just over. Let's do another minute for good luck. This is a 2014, March 2014, 4K Ultra HD television. At the time of recording this, which is summer 2020. So it makes the TV 6 years old. It makes it one of the early 4K TVs. I would like to see it working. Obviously, I'd like to see it working. I'd like to give it back to the customer and say, thank you very much. Give me some beer vouchers. I've got the heat pretty full on at 430, but I have no idea if it's going to be hot enough to even get to the solder balls underneath the processor. I'm hoping so. I would have thought so. Some people like to keep it going for hours. But my honest thoughts on this is, if it is the processor, and we do get it working in a second, I still may invest in another main board. Because I've got a funny feeling that this would only be the temporary of fixes for it. But we'll see. Right. 7 minutes I've been heating that up. Let's let it cool down a bit. Well, if I give you just a close-up here, after heating it all up for, as I said, 7 minutes, it's made no difference whatsoever. It's always a 50-50. It's one of those things that if you didn't do it, you'd go to bed that night thinking, why didn't I just spend half an hour on giving it a go? That's all it would take, half an hour. So it means plan B, and plan B is to get a main board. I've spoken to the customer about this particular TV now, and they're not really interested in getting it repaired because the cost would be getting close to £100 with labour and parts, and bearing in mind the part is about 70. So this TV has become mine to keep. The question is, do I want to spend £70 on a main board to gamble? And the answer to that is no, I don't. But what I've done in the meantime, so I've been sitting on this TV for about a month now, is I've been searching the internet, and I've managed to find a TV, an LG TV 49-inch that's got the same screen, same mainboard, completely different model on the TV, completely different model, but for some reason it has the same screen and the same mainboard, and that I've just managed to pick up, I think, for £30. It may have been 40, but I think it was less. I think he wanted 40 and I went in with an offer of 30. And I think there was free postage on that. So this could be a win-win situation, or it could be a lose. So I've taken a gamble of £30 for a main board to turn this into a workshop TV for myself. I mean, it's a nice 4K TV. Well, it could be a nice 4K TV. At the moment, it's just a lump of plastic and metal that's not really doing much. But let's stick the board in and see. So looking at the main board side by side, do you want a bit more light? I think we could do with a bit more light. You can see there's an obvious difference with the heatsink on the top. This one's taken from an LG 49 UF 695V, and the model of this particular TV that we said before is a UB 620V, so it's a slightly different model number, but this main board, which one are you pointing at? I'm pointing at that one. The new one, the replacement board, was for that screen. So this is for this. Whether that is for that, I'm not sure. There are obviously some discrepancies, but not many. Look, that's the same, that's the same. That's going to go under the heatsink, that's going to go under the heatsink. If you look at the main board here, sorry, my camera work is just diabolical. You can see identical. What about down the side there? Identical. But it's not the main board for this TV. But it is the main board for this screen. And that should be all that matters. One screw left. Couldn't see that screw. There's got to be another. Wow. Okay. Come on, Al. Come on. Right. So gently remove the mainboard surround panels. And put them in here. Now is this going to go on okay with the yes, it doesn't touch the heatsink because that's the wrong way around. Bit of difficulty getting the side one on. No, I think that's in. I think that's as good as I'll ever get it. Well, everything fits. Everything fits. So, if everything fits, it should work, shouldn't it? It should. It's very late at night, by the way. Not that it makes any difference to you. It's Friday night. It must have gone midnight. I'm going to run it completely flat like that. Because I can. I'm just making sure it's not going to damage anything else. Where is that from? Sorry, I've just found a lead. I've just found a wire dangling on the screen here. Is there a subwoofer in the back? No. Right, okay, sorry, I can't continue until I... Was that on the main board? If that was there... No, it's not going to reach. It's not even going to reach to the main board. Think about it. Think about it. What could it be for? There's nothing in the back there. The speakers are attached. That's a mystery. It shouldn't be a mystery. Almost like it's for a fan. A 3-pin socket. I mean, there are 3 pins on the main board, but it doesn't reach there. Okay. I just can't think. Was it loose all the time? No. But again, just eyeing up this main board in the position where it was, it couldn't have gone into anywhere. It couldn't have gone into there at all. That's something that's going to come to me eventually. Ah! T-Con. Active dimmer. You probably noticed that. Sorry, this is, in case you can't see, this is what I'm struggling with, this wire here. I'll lift up a bit. That wire was dangling there. It didn't reach the main board, and I couldn't figure, and I've just seen that it's the active dimmer from the T-Con, which I do remember disconnecting now. Yes. Would it have made any difference to powering it on? No. I don't think so, but it would have stopped the active dimming. Anyway. Let's drop the TV down. Are you ready? Do we get backlights? Are we going to get a logo? There's only one way to find out. Switch on. That's good. See this pattern around here? That's good. Yes. Well, that's very good. I'm very pleased about that. Don't really want to hook it up to a DVD player because that's pretty pointless, and it's getting late at night now. So I'm quite pleased about that. That's worked. I'm going to leave it for the night and then come back tomorrow, and I'll attach an Ethernet cable to it and an aerial to it, and then we'll put it through its smart and its TV challenges and see what it's like. But it is working, as you can see, and we'll get the LG service remote and have a play with that next time. Right, one has slept well, gagging for some breakfast and a cup of coffee, but it's the next day, and I've got the back on the TV. Not screwed it in properly yet, but that doesn't matter. We have the Panasonic service remote, which is there. I've plugged an Ethernet cable into it, or Ethernet if you want to be posh. I've also plugged an aerial cable, but I'm not too sure. My aerial setup here is very dodgy at the best of times. So TV's coming on. In the menu, the backlights were at 100, but I've turned those down as I normally do. The other thing to notice, again, typical with LG, the tint was fine, but again, the color temperature, always up on the cold side. Always up on the cold side, so I'm bringing that down to natural, backlight, contrast. Where was the sharpness? There's the sharpness. I always turn that up a bit, but that doesn't matter until we tune it in. So let's we're on antenna. I'm not too sure what this is going to find, if anything. It's always a bit of a mystery here. I've just got an aerial thrown on the roof, pointing at a direction. The aerial goes into a junction box, and I'm not too sure if the aerial that I've plugged into it, by the way that's speeding across there, I don't think it's going to pick anything up. No, it isn't. Right, so we're not going to get... Well, I'm not going to give up on the first try. Am I going to give up on the first try? Don't give up on the first try. Oh, it seems to be finding things. Not a lot, but anyway, it's found something. It's found more radio programs than TV programs. That's hilarious. But this will just let me know if the TV has got any lines. Has it got any HD content? Are you going to find anything? I don't think you are. No. But no lines. Oh, you can see lines on the screen, but nothing I can do about that. Right, I'm just going to give another retune. I'll just move the aerial a bit, and you never know. I don't think it'll change anything whatsoever. I just wanted to see if I could pick up any HD channels. It's quite sad in 2020 if you're struggling to pick up an HD channel. And I think that's where it is. At 48, it never finds it, so not to worry. Okay. I'm so pleased that we've got this TV working. Doesn't look like a 49, but then again, it's next to a blooming great 55-inch, so I suppose put a 49 against a 55 and it is going to look a little bit tiny. Oh, this time we've found 13 TV programs and no radio programs. That really is. It's, well, whatever it's found it doesn't like. I think we should give up on the aerial thing, don't you? Let's see what we have on this. So we have Netflix, we have Rakuten. I don't know if it knows that we're... Let me just go back to the menu, because I don't think it knows that we're connected. Network connection, start connection, wired network. And I want the wired network. Seems to be taking its time. Network is not connected. Oh, network is now connected. Complete. How bizarre. Do you know what I've just realised? I almost signed up to Sky again this morning because I told Sky to go and do one a couple of months ago, and they keep sending offers through the post, and they sent a good offer today. But I'm just looking at the top line of these. So there's Now TV, iPlayer, Netflix, Prime Video, and Rakuten. I subscribe to all of those. Well, you don't really subscribe to Rakuten, but you do buy movies from them. Well, I suppose the best one, actually, I've done that wrong, haven't I? To test the 4K picture quality. What did I go into there? Did I go into Netflix then? Whatever it was, it didn't like it. But of course I really should give this TV a proper reset. No, I just want my apps, please. Right, let's just go into YouTube. It's got the main apps. You have to bear in mind that this TV is one of the first 4K TVs that LG ever made. I think it's dated 2014. That's early for a 4K TV. I'm going to skip. Then I'm going to hop and jump. And I just want to find some 4K content, please. Let's test the picture quality on 4K. Then I can give the screen a good cleaning. Put all the screws in. I haven't got a stand for this. I've got some feet I may be able to. Where we're going. What do we want to look at? Underwater. Does anybody never skip the videos, skip the ads? Right, we'll let that buffer a bit to see if it goes up to... Oh, that's... Yeah, obviously you're not going to see the quality as such. I never know where you stand with YouTube on showing things like this. Can you not show something from YouTube on YouTube? That's good enough picture quality, but that's definitely not 4K. Definitely not 4K. It's only just HD.
Seen out a ghost, so you go behind me.
Why is there not a return button on this menu?
Put it under my arm. Yeah. That was pre.
See if I can find something else. Right, 4K aquarium. Shall we try that one? It says it's the best 4K aquarium. Let's see how this buffers. Down. Well, again, I'd say it's HD, but I wouldn't say that's 4K. Why is there not a return button on this remote control?
Just jump straight in. I get it, okay, fair enough. We had great chemistry going on there.
Right, I'm just going to do a search. There is something I've seen on here before, which I know is amazing 4K quality. And let me see if I find it. It wasn't that Costa Rica one. It wasn't that. No aquariums, please. No, it doesn't look like I'm going to say... Oh, London in 4K. Yes, that was very good when I watched it. So, and it's only 4 minutes. So let's just see how this buffers up. Well, I don't get it because I've seen this in 4K before and it's been quite stunning. This at the moment is just a poor HD. But anyway, I'm going to let that run and test on the background. We've managed to get it up and running. What I'm going to do with it, I don't know. I'm disappointed with the 4K. That is definitely not 4K. I'm going to have to do a bit more research on this TV. It's an LG 49 UB 620V. but that's definitely not 4K. So have I misjudged this TV being 4K? There is a possibility. I will have to have a play and see. But it's up and running anyway. We'll just have to wait and see what I do with it next. Probably sell it on. There's no need for me to keep it here. Nice TV. Disappointed with the 4K. Must find out. It is a 4K TV. I've done the well, hang on a minute then. Let's find out some information while we're here, shall we? Hang on a moment. LG 49 UB. Is it an 820? I didn't think it was an 820. Now, to be sure, I'm just going to have to fettle it out of its position so I don't damage it. No, it's a 620. No, it's not. It's an 820. Okay. Nice TV. Not impressed with the 4K quality. That's never coming through as 4K. It's coming through as HD, but it's not coming through as 4K. But I'm pleased to say it's up and running. Bit of cleaning, a few screws, find a stand for it, and I think sell it on. I think. I'm never too sure.